Guys, I have an announcement to make.
Ooh.
We're stopping the podcast.
Oh.
Turns out our live shows are such a hit.
They're so good.
We might as well stop wasting our time in this stupid little studio.
Yeah, where are the fans?
All we have is Danny and Pete.
I like it, live audience.
I can't perform anymore unless I hear live laughter.
Couple cocktails and live laughter. Laugh!
Laugh harder. Okay, let's try a joke. D?
Pete, that's the joke.
D, how about we work? No, you make the joke, and then we have to test the audience.
Oh, God.
D, what do you think about Adam Newman?
I love Adam Newman. Boo.
Gosh. Okay, well, listen. We had our live event at the Peppermint Club on Tuesday night, and a lot of times we brag, and we talk about how cool we are and all that stuff on here. I was legitimately blown away.
I agree.
I was blown away.
You were blown.
I wasn't blown.
Okay.
It wasn't that type of audience. I was blown away. I number one, by the amount of people there.
Yeah.
I legitimately was worried. I normally wouldn't admit these type of things on the podcast. I was worried that, we were going to be like half full. We had a lot of RSVPs, but we know how LA works.
Yep.
People don't usually come through. Mm-hmm. It was completely packed.
Yeah.
And then once we got out there, so the live thing is still kind of new to us. And a lot of the live ones we've done were in front of audiences that weren't like all Kathy's.
Yeah.
And we've noticed online, like Kathy's getting more engaged, but you don't really know what that means in real life. So we went up there, and the reaction, like the laughter, sitting on stage, it was a legitimate stage, sitting on stage and having a room full of people like crack up laughing.
I felt like a real star.
Oh my God, I could feel your ego growing.
It was, as
each laughter
I felt
happened.
real hot.
I think you came out with sunglasses and dancing, right?
I did. That's what stars do.
And guess who had the biggest applause? Audience, take a moment. Guess who had the biggest applause when we all came out separately and they announced our names? It was Anand.
I think it was pity.
Pity?
Pity.
Yeah.
What are they pitying?
Just they know he was low self-confidence. They want to boost him up.
Anyone who listens to this pod knows I do not have no
The
self-confidence.
guy with the ego didn't need it.
Yeah, they know I don't need it.
Nobody feels bad for Anand. We see his vacations.
Yeah.
We talk about it on the pod. Oh, Anand couldn't make it today. He's in frickin'
MAGA
Aspen
country.
With a bunch of rich
Montana.
white people.
This is MAGA country.
Anyway, listen.
So, what's funny is when we were arriving at Peppermint, I told myself, I was like, yeah, if it's soft, not a lot of people show up. Remember that scene from the Netflix, Travis Scott? He was at some carnival.
Yeah,
There's no one there. We have the confidence that we're going to be big eventually.
Yeah.
So we'll be Travis Scott eventually.
Well-
Guess what?
We're Travis Scott now.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Definitely not performing in front of nobodies.
No. And it's such a cool crowd. And the biggest note that I have, so many girls.
So many girls. And then when we went and talked, I'd say my one bummer is when we went back out to the bar area, like half the crowd had kind of left.
Well, they all have bedtimes.
Yeah.
Kathy's have jobs.
I like that. But I wanted to obviously interact with as many people as possible. I think I hung out for a little over an hour and got to talk to some people. But just talking to people, our crowd is so fucking smart.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's like, I hate stupid people. Like, they're just so annoying to talk to. Like, there's just so many numbnuts out in the world, and it's nice not to have to interact with them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like a real celebrity, like a pop star, okay?
Yeah.
Or even, let's say you're Fantasy Factory fans.
Yeah, when I was doing autograph signings at Tilly's.
Like, when we went to that, forget that. What was, we went to the burrito thing in, where was that?
Utah, right?
No, was it Utah? Yeah. One of those states.
Where's everyone Mormon?
Yes, Utah.
You guys were in Utah.
We went to Utah, but it wasn't like Salt Lake. It was like
Ogden.
For the listener, we had the bright idea one year to use the show as a platform to launch a microwave burrito company.
Yeah.
And so D and I teamed up on it. We got Rob involved. It was this huge thing. We did an episode.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd use the same approach as we did with PacSun, Tilly's, all those people. Go do signings at the retailers.
Yeah.
Turns out the retailers are a place called Come and Go, which is
Come and Go. This is a legal place.
yes, which is literally like
Spelling,
a
please?
shitty Circle K. I think
K.
it's K-U-M.
It's KUM.
K-U-M and Go.
It's a knockoff of Quick Trip, which is also a Midwest favorite.
So it's a knockoff of a knockoff.
Yes.
Okay.
all
So
right.
it's literally 2 levels down from Circle K, and man, the people that showed
I
up
mean,
were
we had a burrito eating contest in buttfuck Utah.
Yep.
And the people that attended that, I still have the pictures of that. I'm gonna post it. Oh yeah, we have the flyer too. We should do a throwback
my
Thursday
God.
with that one.
Oh my god.
But this,
keep that away from Taylor for the newsletter. Oh no.
but just experiencing that, and I was like, wow, these fans are dumb.
Sheesh.
And now we go
For the
do
record,
group
I
chat.
never said that. I never even thought that.
Well,
thought you guys
I
were
was
all
on a
great.
show. When I walk out of the audience of group chat, and I was like, "Geez,
Yeah.
Yeah, great conversations. People they know what they want to talk to us about.
And
Yeah.
they're not
That's great.
like annoying.
No,
No.
not at
They're
all.
not like, hey man, hey, can I just give a picture real quick?
Super
Yeah.
respectful.
yeah,
Like everyone's like, hey man, I really appreciate it. Like, do you think that blah blah blah?
yeah."
Like, and I'm like,
a
I don't
very
know, man.
insightful question.
You're smarter than I am. Why don't you hop up on stage? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Yeah.
What an experience! And the other thing I also took away from it, because people were like, "Oh, come to our city," and I think there will be a time where we can fill a room in cities all across the country.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about doing it in West Hollywood and LA that makes it more special.
Yep.
Like doing it at Peppermint and just making, like, if people so happen to be, like, there were some folks from New York, my friends are in town, that I met either through running or Instagram or whatever, that we connected, and they came to the podcast, and it's just like, cool. People randomly are in town from wherever they are, and we just so happen to do it, then they get to experience it.
Yep.
You're not going to get that when you go to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Just won't get it.
I think we just have to build it up here.
Yeah.
And I think we should do those every other month.
Yeah.
Every month. Let it be a cool thing. Because the other thing is you can trust, if you're a listener, that you're going to meet other cool people there. You
Yeah.
can really trust that.
Yeah.
It's not like going to like a comedy show where who the hell knows? You're not going to talk to anyone. You're going to be in and out.
Yeah.
You can really meet cool people. It's a cool group of people. If we built it up here, then you could take it other places.
Yeah, I
But-
think that's the most important part, that everyone in the audience was working on something either successful already or like on their way to being successful.
Yeah.
And that's really unique, because I would think most podcasts and live events attract.
Most podcast listeners are losers.
Jeez, most podcast listeners, that's so many people. That's like saying if you listen to the radio, you're a loser.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, now you are.
Yes, if you listen to the radio, you're a loser.
Most podcast listeners are losers?
Do you think most podcasters are winners? There's not that many winners.
So we know who his losers of the week are. We gave you a
All
bunch.
podcast listeners except for group chat.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. You have your thoughts. But most might be fair. Most, if you're saying 51%.
No, there's a lot of
I'd say
trashy pods. for
90%
sure.
of podcast listeners are complete losers.
That's a crazy statement.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
So on brand though.
On brand, but crazy. Because if you're willing to listen to a podcast, think about all the friction. You have to find podcasts, search for the one you want.
Yeah.
That's like, if you want to say Instagram,
Instagram's
Users.
99%.
What about like the smart
99.
shit? Anand listens to like Michael Lewis, or is that his name?
yeah.
Smart. Smart podcast.
losers? There's just a nerds.
What do smart
Nerds or
people listen
losers?
to?
Nerds are losers.
What do smart people listen to?
Group chat.
What else?
Group chat.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I'm really worried about the type of stuff you're going to start saying when these crowds start to get
We'd be
bigger.
remiss not to thank two people.
Yes.
Eric Deluxe,
Big time.
friend of the pod, close friend of ours, killed it. Was a great addition to the live show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Played music before. Was gracious enough to do that for us.
Yeah,
I
his
wish,
little
we could
sound-
afford to, I wish we could afford to have him come with us everywhere we go.
And the ad libs were great. The
Yeah.
music, the fake Viagra commercial he
Yeah,
dropped.
He's too rich. We got to really...
And
Yeah.
Brian, who gave us the venue,
Yeah.
and John, Brian
And the
John
whole
from
team,
H-Lib,
Luke, Danny, Pete, Gian, everyone really rallied, Taylor.
Yeah.
Everyone really like rallied together for that. And you know what I like is when even though we've had a lot of success in other places, there's still that feeling of when you're starting something new, everyone's a
works.
lot happier for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If Young and Reckless has a big holiday, no
one
one's
gives a
congratulating
fuck.
me. Danny's
Yeah.
not giving me a high five.
Our employees don't care.
They don't give a shit.
No
Yeah.
one cares.
They say, "Where's my bonus?"
Yeah.
Group chat.
This
We're
group
all
chat,
in
which
this
makes
together.
no money, has no potential
Because there's
future.
no jealousy yet.
No.
Wait till we get a few checks, then.
I'm hiring security. I'm just itching to hire security.
I can't wait until you like when it really gets on that level. You're gonna be such an asshole.
Haley was like, "You're definitely gonna get stabbed."
I think you get punched in the face. I don't think you get
Definitely
stabbed.
punch in the face.
Stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, our listeners don't. They're not stabbers.
No, but it'll be
They're
like
not
that.
stabby.
Those 90% people.
Oh, they could catch you. Yeah, they
Yeah.
could catch you out at the Grove or something. Yeah. Okay. All right, we got to get into some news, but I guess the biggest thing is thank you to all of our friends and the team that made that happen. Thank you so much to everyone that came out and watched because it was a really cool crowd, completely packed, and definitely exceeded our expectations.
And thank you to the people of China. I gave you a little salute.
Yep, you did. Okay. I don't think they need the thanks. They're doing just fine. All right, let's get into some news. We have a good old-fashioned one of these trusty little lists or, weird fact sheets, right? And
Yeah.
I want to start off with that. It turns out, we talk a lot about rich people on this podcast. It turns out the price tag to being rich in America is getting higher and higher. Now, in America, you need at least $500,000 a year. That's how much you need to make to be in the top 1%.
That's up 7% from last year. That's crazy. That's a huge jump.
We need Bernie to come in and just rip this whole thing apart.
It's
I'm kidding, by the way. Listeners, I don't want to get...
If you want to be in the 0.1%, you earn $2.4 million.
Okay. But I feel like this is going to continue. This is going to really continue to accelerate in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. Like to be top 1%, it's gonna be
gonna be a million.
In 5 years, it's going to be like $10 million a year.
Yeah,
Or else you're a peasant.
it's compounding quickly, and the prices and metropolitan cities for real estate reflect it.
And if you want to be in the top 5%, you make over 200,000. 10%, 145. 20%, 97,000. If you want to be in the top 50%, 41,000.
Given
Not
these
so
trends,
Not so bad.
Top 50. As long as you're on the right side of 50.
Yeah, if you're below that, yeah, you're fucked.
49, you need to get your shit together. You're on the right side of 50%.
But given these trends, why does everyone still want to move to LA, New York, San
Because it's
Francisco?
sick. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
No, but if you have no shot,
Who cares? Go for it.
Yeah, it's way better.
We have people moving to frickin' Bali, man. Why don't you
Yeah.
give LA a shot?
Yeah.
You get to pop in on group chat live. You
Yeah.
get to head on over to some influencer thing. If you're a pretty girl, you get to go to model dinners.
If you're a pretty girl, you're set.
I think
Yeah, pretty girl.
Casey
Pretty girl's
Adams has it
instantly-
figured out. Headquarter in a cheap city,
No,
pop in and out.
Who is that?
That's not by design.
Casey Adams.
No, he just has.
He's
he has
itching
he
to
is
get out of Scottsdale.
Itching.
I don't know if it's the right move.
Well, not with these numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
But he has a full foot in LA.
LA is one of those cities where you can actually live a decent life and not make a lot of money. It's not like New York City. New York City, you can't live in Manhattan and live a decent life
No,
unless
or
you make.
Brooklyn.
Okay, well, shit's tough. It costs to live in the sickest city in the world.
It does.
LA is, in my opinion, undeniably most amazing city in the world.
I think it's everybody's opinion
And
now.
Yeah.
trending even more so in that direction.
Yeah.
The same way the wealth gap's growing bigger, LA is getting more desirable.
Yeah, no one wants to live up north. Everyone's giving up those
No,
cities.
as soon as you make money up north, you come down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like jail. San Francisco's jail, and you're just trying to leave jail to come to freedom.
It's a wealthy jail.
Just
It's
a
a
jail
nice
filled
I'll
with...
serve a bid in
coders.
San Francisco. if
I
that's what
can't.
it takes.
I can't serve a bid there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Here's another one. We have a list of millennial millionaires, ages 23. So 23 to 37 is a millennial?
22 to 38, they're saying.
Okay, roughly. So whatever.
Yeah,
in
23
that
to
range.
30,
We don't
yeah.
want to fake news you, but somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. We have a list of where they live, where all the millennial millionaires live.
Yes.
And
Guess where it is?
beautiful sunny Los Angeles. That's what's messing up all these damn prices. All these rich millennials.
Oh, it's California.
Yeah. But you know where they're trying to get to.
Yeah, so 44% of millennial millionaires. So there are 618,000 millennial millionaires, and damn near half of them are in California. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to live in California.
Or do you become a millionaire and then move to California?
No, you have to. Your highest likelihood of becoming a millionaire is.
Let me tell you, the next closest is 14% with New York City. Then Florida with 5%, Massachusetts 5%, Texas 5%. Rest of the states, you have no shot.
So you have to extrapolate this
I'm
a little
surprised.
further. This is like directly related to millennials who joined tech companies that took off, and they earned stock and became rich. Because most of the zip codes are in what D
And I
calls
bet you
jail.
there's a lot of like weird
they're
LA
all in
actors.
jail?
San Francisco,
Oh, come on.
San Mateo,
Yeah.
Palo Alto. But think about it. If you're in another industry, it's to be a millennial and make $1 million before, or be a millionaire technically before the age of 30.
Net worth.
Net worth, virtually impossible unless you get lucky. But in a tech company, you could have just had a middle market job at some middle management job at a startup that was Series A. They become a $10 billion company. You're rich.
Yeah.
Shopify, Uber, Airbnb, Stripe. There's like 50 companies in San Francisco that have produced
That
these.
number could decline drastically in the next year when all these companies become donuts.
Of course. And all those people are moving to LA.
Yeah.
And then all the money's getting sucked out of jail. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Palo Alto is going to be irrelevant.
It's just crazy how heavily weighted it is in one state.
Yeah,
And within
well, I
that
mean,
one state, it's one industry.
I also think, like, I can't see why anyone.
You can't. What industry in LA unless you're
Entertainment.
an actor?
Is what?
Musician.
Actor, musician, but how many of those are there? There's thousands of engineers.
There's a
and-
lot of like weird CW people.
No, I'm
What are you saying? What are you
how
saying
many
now?
millennials in music and entertainment become millionaires by 30 versus?
yeah.
It's not even close.
I think
Yeah,
there's
but
a
like
lot
all
though.
these influencers and
They're making money.
not
They're
millions,
still.
not
It's
millions,
so small.
Net worth.
It's
not
so
earning.
small.
But they don't have any
I know
worth.
we're LA biased. We know it's the greatest city,
Influencers
but
have
it's
no
all
worth.
technology. Like, let's not get this
That's
confused.
where all the money is. You're
Yes.
right. You're right. 100%. That's what swayed the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's just paper stock too.
Okay,
It's
here's a
like-
question. If you take away all of tech, does New York win?
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
How are people becoming
Finance.
millionaires in New York? That's even
Finance.
harder.
Finance.
You could be a millionaire in finance.
I still think
As a millennial.
California
30?
wins.
Yes. You're a hedge fund. If you're in a hedge fund at 22, your hedge fund takes off and you're there for another 8
Yeah,
years. you'll be
finance
rich.
I'm
you-
just saying, if I'm 18, 19, whatever, up until this little 16 year in college, smart, ambitious, ready to take on the world, I don't know why you'd move to New York.
Unless you're in finance. If you're in finance, there's the opportunities aren't in LA.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's it.
Only
Finance
finance.
or nothing.
You bagels,
What's the
Pizza,
job?
pizza and bagels.
sushi too, right?
So maybe you want to open a hot.
Sushi, I'd say LA is pretty big.
You want to open a bagel joint, maybe?
Like if you want to sell, your dream was to open a bagel shop.
But I said you're ambitious and like really like educated.
You want to be the bagel king.
Got it. Got it.
I wouldn't move to San Francisco.
Okay, so group chat opinion. Only reasons to move to New York: finance and bagels.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is not a jab at my Jewish friends. But there's no bagel shops in LA that crush it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, next up, bad news for me. Apparently, there is a deadly flu strain going around, and doctors are urging Americans to get flu shots. Now, I'm guessing you two have flu shots because you have little babies.
I haven't got them yet.
You haven't?
No, I need to.
Don't you have a responsibility as a father?
Yeah.
What do you have anything on the books, or
No, I'm just going to walk into CVS and
that's where they do it?
that's where I get it.
You get. I'm just gonna go our next appointment with the pediatrician. They just gave it to us last time.
Okay, well, I don't have one. I have no plans of getting it.
I don't. I think I got one within.
Here's
the
the
year,
thing
so I'm
about
fine.
flu shots.
You got one what?
Within the year.
They last a year?
Yeah. You get one
Shit.
every year.
I can't remember my last one.
Here's the thing with flu shots. One, when you take the shot, there is a slight chance you get sick,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yeah.
The other is, these are one of the things that I think potentially is a complete conspiracy.
What's the conspiracy, though?
Tell everyone the flu season is deadly. What are we going to go do? Go get flu shots.
But what are they? Are they poison? Are you an anti-vaxxer?
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but flu shots is really hard. Like, I don't, like they said there's fears of a deadly flu strain, right?
Do you think it's the pharmaceutical companies creating
What's
this?
the motive? To sell the shots?
Think how many millions of flu shots are sold. It's a multi-billion-dollar yearly industry. Every year, it's the worst flu season ever. I see on the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
It's the worst year every year.
Everything's getting worse except for that top 0.01%.
True.
I want a headline once. This is the best season to get a flu. You will not die.
Yeah, but guess what doesn't get clicks or views on your news channel?
The best flu season
Optimism.
ever? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gets nothing.
No one wants to be happy.
Yeah, I think it spreads more that way than it does by some genius pharmaceutical plan.
I don't know.
So this isn't the thing that like causes autism and stuff. What's that? What's the one that everyone's scared of?
That's regular vaccination that you give your infants.
Let's be clear. It doesn't cause autism. There is a group of people that believe that, a very small minority, that should not be allowed to send their kids to anywhere in public because it's dangerous.
There's a celebrity that did it, Jessica
Jenny
Biel
McCarthy is the famous one from like years
ago.
ago.
A recent one, Jessica Biel.
Yeah,
Jessica Biel.
there's a lot of recent young parents that are. I mean, we hear it. They
should not. They should be locked up. You want to talk about who should be locked up? Forget the financial executives, the people that aren't vaccinating their kids.
There's a lot of people in New York that don't.
Okay, but that's separate.
That's
flu. There's no conspiracy around flu shots.
I think there's a conspiracy.
Except for yours. It's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, if they pulled that off, good for them.
Because there's no harm in getting a
Let me ask you a question.
Whatever. If
Do
I
we
could say,
know
listen,
personally?
Yeah.
Have you ever known someone who got the flu and passed away or had such a terrible experience? Does anyone know anyone?
We need an emergency room doctor to tell us that, not us.
I know,
Yeah,
but
they could tell you anything.
But like we hear stories, for example, cancer. That is a real thing that affects everyone. All of us know people that are going through that. Flu.
This is a new the T calling.
What? Who's died from the flu?
I agree.
It's all bullshit.
I agree. You know what? To that point, I agree.
Yeah.
I have never met anyone, thank God, who has been like deathly ill or died from the flu.
Yes.
So therefore, I will not be at CVS.
Yeah.
I won't be getting vaccinated.
Thank you.
Because I don't know what's in that thing.
Okay.
You know, I don't want autism. What? It's science, guys. Jeez. Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Pete, you vaccinated?
No, of course.
Danny?
Wisconsin, they don't got vaccinations.
Yeah, come on.
Dude.
They're like, hey, your
Yeah,
child's born.
fuck
Good
it.
luck.
Look at me,
Yeah.
look at me.
Here's a pile of cheese.
Turned out
fucking
great.
moving.
Okay. Next up. You want to know what? It's ad time. If we got any ads, run them. We're back. It's time for some technology and business news. It looks like there's going to be a television show done by the creators of Billions, which is one of our favorite shows as a group, which will be on Showtime. And it is about one of our favorite companies on this podcast. Not WeWork, not Adam Newman.
That's coming too.
Yeah, but that one's a little different. That one's more of a Bernie Madoff type vibe. You know, this one is about Uber.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I mean, I think if you pair a story about Uber done by the creators of Billions, that to me is a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, and it's based on the book, The Battle for Uber, that I see a lot of people reading.
I wonder if that's good. I just saw it, but I passed it because I hadn't heard any recommendations.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone says it's really good.
Okay.
I'm never going to read it, but let me know if you do.
I will.
This is going to be great because it's like Billions writing team clearly knows how to tell a really great story. I'm sure it'll be exaggerated and whatever, and everyone from San Francisco will give their opinion how it's not real, but it will be an amazing piece of content.
It'll be great entertainment, and I think from our perspective, for Group Chat's perspective, we uniquely have an inside look of what happened at Uber. We weren't the ones that got rich off it, but we know a lot of people who did.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people who knew the founders. We've spent time with Garrett Camp, one of the founders, and know a lot of the inside info of what happened over the last kind of 10 years. So I'm curious how they portray it and what's going to be like, yeah, that's bullshit, the way they said that, versus what is actually accurate.
Like,
for the purpose
who's
of
gonna say
entertainment.
he's going to drop the Uber.
Oh, yeah, drop the. Yeah. Whatever, I'm signed up. The same
Yeah.
way I was for Social Network,
Yeah.
the same way I am for Silicon Valley, Entourage, anything based on sort of what happens in that area, that to me is the truth.
Yeah.
So whatever they say in this show, that's how Uber was
I'll
started.
take it face value.
Factually.
And
Yes.
Travis Kalanick went to our high school, Granada Hills High School.
Yeah.
He's got to be like the star of this thing, right?
Oh,
Obviously.
the whole thing's got to be about him.
Yeah.
He's
Who should play him? I think I know who I want him to play. Play him.
Who?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Is that his
really?
name?
Yeah, that's a guy. He played Snowden.
I like him.
That's a guy.
That's my pick. Who do you pick?
I can't picture his name. Damn it.
What does he do?
Because I know he's the guy from Friends.
Friends?
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer.
He's so old.
I don't care. I want David Schwimmer out there.
Oh, hey, Rachel.
Yeah. I think David Schwimmer could have some edge. And really, this would be a good role for him.
He would never get
Look
casted.
at him. Look at him with the scruffy face.
He looks like a mess.
Fuck these taxis.
He does look kind of have that
Yeah.
mess look.
Thank you. We'll take it.
He's just too old.
I'm
Anand,
looking
you got any votes?
I need a young
don't have
buck.
one
I need
right-
a young
you
buck.
need a younger person, I think.
Oh, it's Travis.
Travis is probably 40.
Yeah.
Old.
I just searched Travis Kalanick on Twitter, and apparently he bought a $36 million penthouse in New York City.
Yeah, he's fine.
Next to David Schwimmer.
Put that in the put that in the show.
Yeah.
It has to all be about him. He's the only star of the bunch.
Yeah, no one knows
the whole
anyone
thing's
else.
about him, and they're going to show him as this like ruthless just killer. He might kill some drivers.
He's probably hyped. He's probably so hyped.
Yeah, it's good for his image. Anytime a movie's made about you, you're hot.
Oh yeah, and we've seen him at some of our local hotspots.
Yeah. It's
good.
Okay. Next up, we talked a little bit about Barneys New York and how they filed for bankruptcy. And then the last story we talked about was that the owner of Kith and Atrium was putting together a bid to take it over, which was pretty like out of left field. Didn't really expect that, but good for them. It looks like now Authentic Brands Group and Saks have teamed up to make a $271 million bid. This, to me, with my limited knowledge on the topic, seems a little bit more in line with reality.
What's interesting about it is they're planning, this deal apparently is going through, and they're planning to close all the stores.
Everyone.
Yes. Liquidate all the merchandise.
Okay.
So I guess, are they just going to operate Barneys.com? Or was the idea Saks, I don't know is it like just Saks is like, we don't want any competition? Because Authentic Brands Group,
weird.
for those that don't know, they are a licensing company. They buy IP. So they own like the rights to Muhammad Ali, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, Shaquille O'Neal, and Nautica, and DKNY, all these brands. They don't actually make any product, but they find partners to make and license and, find creative ways to do things. So they must have a view of the world where Barneys is still a valuable brand, and maybe we'll go find someone in Brazil to open a Barneys and it's a license, and then someone in Dubai and someone in...
But why wouldn't you keep open like Rodeo Drive and like these like flagship locations?
I mean, they don't, but that's not what Authentic Brands Group does.
No, but Saks.
Saks, they're right next to each other in every city in the world.
Oh, that's just weird. That seems weird to me. They have the best locations. And I know that like, sure, it obviously doesn't make sense from a cost perspective, but one or two?
Like, think about those the New York Barneys location and then LA Barneys. Those are iconic pieces of real estate. What the hell are you going to do with them
It's
now?
called Barneys New York. You're going to close your New York store now? What? You're just Barneys online?
But they said they might keep some of the leases, right? That's what it says.
Authentic Brands Group would shut them all down. That's what they said they would do.
And Authentic Brands Group, I think they know what they're doing.
I would bet so.
Yeah.
And, unlike everyone else in retail and
I
clothing.
don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Because from anything I've heard, they're a pretty successful business.
Incredible.
A private equity firm called General Atlantic owns a decent piece of it.
And Leonard
And-
Green, yeah.
And I think they do really well. So I
They
trust
do.
them.
I do too, but just leave one store open.
Why
Maybe
don't you
they're
petition-
selling
Why
it-
don't you shoot an email to Authentic Brands Group? Leave one store.
Which one?
Yeah.
It should be leaving New York then.
I will. I'll say, you know what, guys? We thought about this.
Yeah.
We have this podcast.
Yeah, we kinda-
brown, white.
We went over
We want
it.
one store.
Listen, we decided one store is probably the best bet.
I really like the rooftop of the BH one for lunch. It's great. It's a vibe.
yeah, I can't believe that they're just
Nice
done.
spiral staircase.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Juul. We haven't talked about Juul in a little bit. Juul is apparently suspending. So I thought that this had already happened, but obviously the vape wars are ongoing. And the big outrage, I would say the focus of all the outrage is especially the super flavored, fruity, kid-oriented flavored pods. Mm-hmm. It looks like, I thought they were already banned. They're not. But Juul has suspended the sales of the fruity flavors, assuming that the ban is coming. So, are they just trying to look good? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think they know it's coming, so they're just...
Like quit before you're fired sort of thing?
Yeah.
Great.
But, yeah, I mean, if they put a halt to all flavored pods, I just don't know what's going to happen to that business. Why? Yeah. Here's what I don't understand. Let everyone ban it, okay. But if they could figure out a way to sell it directly and idiots want to still buy it, like, that's probably what's going to happen, right?
But what's the issue? And so the only thing I'm gathering from this is they're saying that the fruit flavored Juuls are the ones that are attracting kids.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So the rest of it, as long as you're killing adults, we're fine. Kill kids, we have a problem.
Yeah. You cannot kill kids.
You can kill all the adults you want.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. I just want to make that distinction.
You had 18 good years.
Yeah, it's time to check out.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is the kids in the office now, there's this new thing called puff bars.
Yeah.
And I heard a little snicker over there. Pete, you got a puff bar?
Wait,
I think he's more interested.
Okay.
Hear what this is.
It's like he woke up.
So there's called puff bars. They look like a Juul, but it's all one piece, no pod. There's all sorts of flavors.
Yeah.
Like way more
They're disposable, right?
Yes, and they're $10.
Yeah.
The single-use ones.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
They're $10 and you throw them away. After you're done, you don't charge them, you don't anything. You buy them, suck them down, toss them out. All different flavors.
Yeah, I've heard that this in high school is the hot new thing.
Yeah, so my point is like it's already progressed. Like Juul, I think just ushered in this sort of trend.
And now it's just like beyond something else.
Yeah.
Puff bars are hot.
I had a cucumber one this weekend.
So it sounds...
I had a little breakdown and I had a little nicotine. I had a cucumber.
Breakdown of what?
Juul or
like
puff
a mental
bar?
breakdown?
No, a puff down. No, I just
Are you mentally unhealthy? Are you one of these Gen Zers that's going to quit your job?
No,
Are you a pussy?
We're getting there. Side effects are starting to come around. Give me another month. We'll revisit this.
When you quit, do it live. At least let me get some listeners out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quit on the pod and tell us why.
And we can go live on social as well.
Yeah.
Why? What was your breakdown about?
No, it wasn't a break. I mean, I just don't really do much nicotine.
Oh, like a
just stop.
weak-willed.
So then I was like, I kind of got drunk and I was like, oh, I could do some nicotine.
And then you just stopped in and grabbed a puff bar, or where did you get it?
Yeah.
See, it's
you
so
can do it at a
convenient.
liquor store.
Like,
How much is a puff bar?
It's $10.
$10.
$10. You get your use out of it. You just throw it away.
Like you can't pop in and grab a Juul.
A Juul
Right.
is $60, almost $70 just to get
The Juul.
the stick and the starter pack.
It's a great
you have to
opportunity
charge
for puff bars and all these different vehicles of nicotine that just go under the radar. Don't be a $1 billion company. If you want to create multiple $10 to $20 million vape brands, I think you can do that all day without getting shut down.
I just do want to put the argument out there. I would be willing to bet that Juuls or vaping is less hazardous to your health than, let's say, alcohol.
Wow.
Maybe.
I think that's very, very likely. So I think this thing is kind of overblown. I think it's way, and once again, not a doctor.
Yeah.
But I think it's way...
I want
I don't think anyone mistaken.
way less...
no one ever thought, oh, Darwin thinks he's a doctor now.
Every now and then people confuse me with one. Way less hazardous, I think, than cigarettes. And I would say that something that's as widely accepted, like alcohol, I think it's less... Like, I just think, like, this stuff is such a phenomenon. We're talking about, like, 8 people have died or something.
No, I know, but they're banning it like we've talked about because it's bannable because there aren't big lobbies and hundreds of companies.
I know.
So,
but I'm just saying, I don't think that the real health... I think the big issue is everyone's freaking out because in high schools and shit, kids are just running around, puff barring their tits off.
Probably shouldn't give Pepsi to kids under 18.
Agreed. Right? It's probably less dangerous than that. Yeah. I feel like more people probably die from like diabetes from sucking down Coke
diabetes is a real
at a
killer.
young age than puffing down some puff bars.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, either way, I'm off it. So feels good to be on this side.
It does.
Nice clear lungs. this is a good story in some retail news.
Ooh.
Which is right up our alley. Nike, may have heard of them, has announced and decided to officially stop selling to independent retailers.
Yes.
Now, that means obviously anyone other than their own retailers, their online, big box retailers, any of the smaller, smaller chains,
mom and pop.
independent, mom and pop,
Yeah.
which is like pretty nuts. I really feel like this is the end of an era for the mom and pop. Like, I think about it in terms of skate shops, right? Like, skate shops are all pretty much independent. There's not really big chain skateboard stores. So when I was growing up, you always went to the local independent stores. When Nike got into skateboarding, now all of a sudden those stores have Nike accounts. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Those guys are all done.
All done. And so this is going to phase out by 2021. Yeah. I think everyone already knew. I think that now it's just making a formal announcement. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's the death of all small retailers that are in this like mid-tier price point because there's just no room for them. And people like Nike are probably, they like to say they're less discounting and less promotional than ever. I think they're more promotional than ever. It's just they're going direct. So instead of going 50% off Foot Locker, which hurts your margin, when you're 50% off on your own site, you're capturing your wholesale margin. So their margins, their gross margins have improved over the last couple of years because they can just go discount on their site and have these monster sales and they'll move through all their product. It's a win-win. Like, we know, when you want Nike, you don't go to a specialty footwear retailer first. You're probably going to their website.
Yeah.
And I mean, I went to Foot Locker recently and not one pair of shoes I wanted.
How is Foot Locker in those places still in business?
I don't even understand who wants the shoes on those walls.
And if you go even deeper, if you go sub 25, they're on StockX and GOAT. They're not even going to Nike.com, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are some nice inline Nike products.
I don't think every kid, like, Nike's so universally accepted and worn and whatever. I don't think every kid is like StockX Go.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who just like, I want, I don't know, some basic Air Maxes. Let me pick the color I want.
I'll tell you where there's another. If you are a person that loves shoes and you want the hot shoe, but not like the it shoe, just great shoes, are on GOAT and StockX below retail.
Yep.
So
I think that's something that they have under marketed.
I think that's
think a lot
by
of people know that.
purpose.
True.
I think that's by purpose.
You think they want to stay under the radar?
Well, no, because you want to look like the place to get the hot shit.
Yeah, but like you can go get Ultra Boost. Like, for example, I was at Foot Locker. I saw Ultra Boost. They're $185 shoe. The exact same shoe I looked up on GOAT was $40 cheaper. Why would I buy it?
And the bigger point is, unless you're making a day of like, I want to go to lunch and walk around outside, why would you ever buy in store?
Do you want me to tell you the reason?
The only thing is to try it on. You're going to say because you're a loser?
Yes.
Okay. The only reason I could see is like, you do not care at all about look. You want to try them on. You want to just get a new pair of
Amazon
Nikes.
gives you free returns, free exchanges.
I agree. I know family members of my own that
they would never buy a pair of shoes without going to a physical store.
I just am saying the idea of not being able to try them on and feel like they still feel them. And they're like, oh, yeah, I could walk around. Like, hold on, sir, do you mind if I take a couple laps around the store in these? Yeah.
Or they're
not
just
taking
killing
couple
time because they have nothing else to do during the day.
I get
the idea of having to return on Amazon just seems like
daunting.
I don't know. Seems like a scam.
Scam or daunting?
Both. Like, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'd rather just go in there, get my shit, have it, walk it out, got the nice little air bubbles, got nice and comfy. These are going to last me at least a year. All good. See you next Christmas. Peace.
Insane.
So it exists, but I don't think enough to support a place like...
Here's my actual bigger problem with it. I don't actually mind walking to a store and buying something. The real challenge with retail is the selection. Yeah. Like, when I walk into Foot Locker, I actually don't want any of the shoes.
There's nothing you can do, because now, especially with Nike doing stuff like this, they're just going to keep all the hot
and then when I go to Nike.com or Adidas.com, I was like, oh, where are all these shoes?
Yeah.
They're holding all the best stuff. Yeah, they're holding the best product for themselves and telling Foot Locker, here are these Jordan I've never heard ofs that you guys get to carry, and we're going to have all the hot shoes.
How are they all still in business? And Finish Line and
Champs.
And if thousands of stores.
Yeah.
In failing malls, that's
It's
tough.
rough.
Okay, well, I think this is kind of a bit of a, no shit, you see it coming moment. But I do think it's interesting that, when we started even Young and Reckless, which was like kind of at the beginning of all this stuff changing 10 years ago, that was the whole thing. You go to trade shows, you meet with mainly mom and pop independent retailers. You hope to gather a bunch of them. You open those accounts. You have regional sales reps. It's just a way that things have been happening for so long. The fact that it's legitimately coming to an end is crazy. And the opportunity to be a sports fan in your small city and you start a really cool sporting goods store and it's your own little thing, that's going to be completely gone.
I feel like that's a movie.
Mighty Ducks.
No, I feel like there's one in San Francisco.
That's every
Ben
city.
Stiller or one of those guys.
Oh, he does run a sporting goods store.
Yeah, Along Came Polly?
No, it's it's the one where they go on the honeymoon and it's terrible.
That's Adam Sandler.
No,
the
There's
honeymoon
Adam
one.
Sandler where he works
She
at a sporting
changes.
goods store.
She's perfect.
The
and then
Heartbreak Kid.
The Heartbreak Kid.
Yes. Is
Isn't
that
the
it?
Heartbreak Kid?
Yeah.
That movie's hysterical.
Yeah. With Cameron Diaz or whatever? No, who's the girl?
Someone really famous.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes. He works at a sporting goods store.
I'm saying there's a lot of movies that's a scene.
Yeah, that's just like a normal, that's not even part of the storyline.
Have you been to a Big Five?
This one still exists down the street.
Have you seen who's in there?
I'd like you to describe him.
Losers.
I don't even want to go that far.
Wow.
These folks don't have homes.
So they're homeless?
Homeless in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
They just hang out in Big Five? And what?
They're buying socks.
Tennis rackets or something?
I was there the other day. They were buying socks.
Well, you were there, so you're homeless.
Yeah, why are you there, homeless guy?
I needed something.
Socks?
No.
Okay. All right, well, anyway, it's just the end of an era.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Next up. Ooh, here's some more news for Nike. So this guy, I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not even going to try. Does anyone know how to say his name? Marathon runner?
No, say his name.
No.
Okay, so, gosh, we're disrespectful. This guy broke the record for running a marathon in under 2 hours, which is nuts. It was huge news. Everyone was celebrating it. This is a true feat of human athleticism.
Feet.
Yep. Turns out he cheated.
He's a cheater.
He's a cheater. And not only is he a cheater, but Nike helped him do it. So this CEO, this dope-loving CEO, they're helping people cheat. And you need to take it off the record books, and we need to start over and let someone else get a try the real way.
With real shoes.
What happened?
He wore the Zoom X Vaporfly Next Percentage. My suggestion to Nike, shorten the name.
Yeah.
It's a little too long.
Way too long.
And apparently there was a revamped midsole, which apparently is illegal in running.
Okay.
And because it assists the runners. And so the federation of whatever governs this body is saying that it's an unfair advantage, and that helped his time, that helped his speed.
No, I think there's an argument about it. Nothing's been determined about the shoe.
They just know Nike's doping up everybody. So.
Yeah,
That's a
they're like-
different story. If you're accusing Nike of doping him.
But this is how they get to it. They first accuse you of the shoe. They're like, you know what? Let's do a blood test while we're at it.
Let's get another one of those blood tests.
Yeah.
We got a couple extra things we want to test for.
They
But,
will
you know-
cheat at all cost.
I
Mike
thought
Parker.
The most
what's his name?
fascinating part of the race was everyone's cheering that this guy who did this incredible thing under 2 hours, a marathon. The guys behind didn't seem too far back.
So I said the same thing.
But they're
He said he
Pacers.
thinks they're Pacers.
They are Pacers.
But the Pacers
means
don't
they
run
come
the
in
whole
and
race,
out.
though.
Oh, you mean they come in and out?
Yeah.
I said the
Got
same
it.
thing. I'm like, there was a white dude behind it.
Yeah.
Like if a white guy has what?
Yeah.
2
Like
hours
in a
and 1
marathon,
second?
there's like guys that'll run
So
the
I
first
wonder
10.
what the next person who actually ran
There
the full.
could have been 18 people who broke the record.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a hard
Like
record.
those guys, if they had actually run the full, it's like, oh, if they just stepped on the gas, they
Maybe
could
those guys are visibly known for taking steroids, and they're like, "Hey, well, you know, you guys
cool.
can do the 2
They
hours."
just give
but-
the Pacers steroids.
yeah,
That'd be sick. And they're just like, yo, we good? How's
you
your day
good
going?
on that record?
Yeah.
He did not look phased at all.
No.
He looked like he could have run another 26.
Because he cheated.
Yeah, he was happy. He was good.
He was cheating.
By the way, it only took him less than 2 hours, so you're not that tired.
Take off those revamped midsoles, and you would be a little bit more tired.
Yes.
Cheater. Anyway, we'll see. So there's no determination made
No.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hoping for the best.
Danny, what do you want?
I was gonna say There's fun fact is the woman that ran in the Chicago Marathon wore the same shoes, and she beat the world record by 81 seconds. That Sunday as well.
Oh,
So these shoes are clearly helping.
I think
Through
you
line
need
here.
to buy them for the Grand EC Run Club.
how long did your marathon take?
4 hours and 55 minutes.
He could have ran 2.5 marathons.
That's nuts. Okay.
Three, could probably have done 3 with the steroids he's taking.
Side note, even though all this is happening, Nike's stock is just absolutely on fire, right?
Record high, record breaking. Cheating wins. Facebook cheats. Nike cheats.
That is
Record
true.
highs.
I believe
Cheating,
that.
record highs.
I believe
Cheating,
in the
record
DNA
highs.
of America is just winning.
Yes.
And if you win,
Doesn't
America
matter.
loves you.
Doesn't matter how you win, just
As
win.
long
We
as
don't
you
give a shit.
pray to the Chinese national anthem,
Yeah.
you can't forget about that fact.
And guess what? Facebook and Nike does that.
No, Facebook doesn't. They're banned.
No, but he goes and kisses their
No,
ass
he
every
stopped.
year.
They already said they're not allowing
They
it.
still go kisses their ass.
He doesn't.
He was there.
I don't trust him either
He
way. He's
was
hanging out
there
with Tucker
like 3 years
Carlson.
ago when he thought he had a shot.
I'd rather him kiss
Now he
his
just
ass
did a
than...
whole speech about free speech because he knows he's never getting to China.
And he did a whole speech about free speech and then refused to take any questions.
Then he took pre-made questions.
Not any free roaming questions.
He knows how to win.
Nah,
Come
free
on.
speech, not free questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can speak freely.
Yeah. And then last but not least, also in Stockland, Netflix Q3 earnings. What do we got?
So they reported their earnings. The stock was up today because I think people are happy with their expectations. They had 31% increase in revenue, in line with their predictions. Their earnings were off the charts. They said they have added, I think, a total of
500,000 in the quarter.
500,000 in the United States, but they were expected to add 800,000.
That's not good.
Their international growth, they added 6.3 million compared to 6.2 million, which was expected. Okay. So I think the international growth continues to be there. It's interesting, though, that, how many more people do we have left to sign up for Netflix? It'll just be new people being born.
Yeah.
No, I think the bigger problem is Apple and Disney haven't even launched yet.
Yeah.
So forget about new potential ads. It's about your churn because there's going to be a significant portion of the existing Netflix user base that is going to switch.
Yeah.
That's without...
I think the way
fail.
the streaming, and we've talked about this, is you're going to switch when the show is hot.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go get Apple Plus right now, and because you're giving it away with the phone, too. So everyone's going to get it. Everyone wants to see the new Good Morning Show or whatever is it called?
Who's the star?
Jen Aniston.
Yeah.
Real star.
And Reese Witherspoon.
And Steve Carell.
We're more worried about Instagram stars.
Yeah.
Like Jen Aniston.
Yeah. Just 12 million followers, by the way.
We're worried about people who starred in one of the greatest shows of all time.
You definitely don't think that. Anyone who
Pete?
thinks Friends is one of the greatest shows. I mean, Pete.
I don't think that. I just
Pete's
think it's-
dumb, but he's not stupid.
I don't think that. I just, think,
not that stupid.
I just think it's better than Seinfeld. That's it.
Friends.
Friends a great
Central Perk.
What a great place. Seems so nice. They all meet up there.
Yeah.
They talk.
They seem so happy.
So happy, so optimistic. Unlike Seinfeld, like, "Meh, meh, meh, it's so cold outside. Meh, meh." Oh, can you believe what
You like David Schwimmer. You probably want David Schwimmer to be Batman, too.
somebody stole my
Fucking
parking
loser.
spot.
You're an idiot.
Did you see Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman?
Yeah. That's hot.
And Jonah Hill was supposed to be, I guess, like Mr. Penguin or whatever. And
When I saw the headline, I thought he said Jonah Hill's Batman. I was like, this guy can't be Batman.
And
well, we
who's
live in
Batman? Robert Pattinson? Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I don't know about that one either.
okay, well, I mean, when does Disney launch?
November 12th, I think.
Man, it's going to be a good winter for streaming.
Even one of the executives from Netflix on the earnings call says, yeah, they have an advantage. They have a bunch of historic franchises, and we have to keep creating new content.
yeah.
That's like, hey, we know,
And all their content sucks.
and their only way to win is to create better content than Disney. Who do you trust as a content creator?
No one other than Disney. And Apple.
Apple.
I trust Apple.
They have good taste.
Ugh, okay, well, we'll see, but it's going to be a good winter for streaming because Apple's November 1st, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys ready to wrap it up with our favorite segment?
Yeah.
Who's our biggest winner of the week?
My winner of the week is Felicity Huffman.
She's a winner?
She's a winner.
Isn't she going to jail?
She's in Club Fed, and they showed the place where she's staying.
It's like a medium level hotel.
I mean, it was probably better than where Pete was just living.
Oh, I mean, guaranteed. Wait, are you talking about Wisconsin or his last apartment in LA?
The last apartment in LA.
Yeah.
That place is terrible.
The little pod thing.
They showed like
Yeah.
They show her cell. It's clean bed. It's nice. Got a window.
But there were multiple beds in her cell. That's a little scary.
Ew.
I mean,
How long
you
she
should
was-
tell Pete.
I was in a room with
Pete.
5 other people.
Tell him about your living situation.
17 people, 2 bath, and the top flat of this house.
Yeah, I'd rather be.
And how much were you paying?
$900.
That's expensive.
Yes, bro.
The LA dream.
Yeah, this is the only place I could get in 3 weeks.
But I would say at least Pete can walk out of the house and leave and say, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm just going to stay up all night and
You know
walk
what? It's
around.
a nice rest for her. 14 days quiet, get some sleep.
She'll probably meet some interesting people.
Yeah.
No one's in there like dangerous.
Yeah.
Meet a new accountant.
If you guys pay me, I'll go in there. I'll find out.
You
need
should
to pay
document
you.
your stay as a sex slave or whatever you were.
No, we want to send you to like the real women's max security. That's the fun of it.
Maybe, yeah. Start there and then go to them.
How long is she going to 2 weeks?
14 days, yeah. But she got
only 13.
Yeah, she got credit for 1 day for being held in custody for a few hours.
Okay, Anand, who's your winner?
Group chat.
Nice, thank you.
We did 2 live events in the last 7 days.
Yep.
Both were huge successes.
Yep.
And you just feel the momentum between the growth of the podcast, the growth of the newsletter, the reaction at the live show. And it's just cool when we spend so much time doing something, we actually see positive reaction, because we all sacrifice a lot, including Pete, Danny, everyone, Taylor, and we come in on weekends, and it's cool.
Yeah. I want to say, it seems like you're getting a lot less nervous.
Yeah?
Yeah, some of those early live shows, you seemed a little shaky. You
Little
seemed
nervous.
a little nervous. On that one, you didn't. I don't know what it was, but you were
Cocktails.
It was
You
also
even
the
made
roar of the
courage.
crowd.
You even made some risky jokes,
Yeah.
which I won't repeat.
Yeah.
So we got to start locking up phones like Dave Chappelle. Okay. My winner, I don't think we talked about this. Correct me. I know I mentioned it, I think, at the live event, but on the pod, my winner is Tekashi 6ix9ine, because apparently they're saying he signed a $10 million record deal.
Wow.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah,
I did. I just didn't believe it.
Well, I don't know. I think those numbers are a little like clickbaited, in the sense of like, I think all in, if everything does max, he could stand to make $10 million. I don't think they're going to give him a $10 million check. But I'm just saying, man, I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I think this guy is going to soar out of jail by Christmas. I think he's going to be the biggest thing in the world. I think he's going to, none of these kids give a single shit about the code of the streets or snitching or any of that.
Yep.
He's going to spin it brilliantly. He's just like Donald Trump. And he's just going to be the biggest thing in the world.
I agree.
He's just going to walk around with security, and nothing's going to happen to him. Everyone's like, he'll be dead in a year. I
Yeah,
don't
no
think so.
way.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
When he was walking around city to city saying, fuck your city, I don't got to check in, no one did anything to him.
Because he doesn't have to check in.
And
Yeah,
wait,
so-
when do you think he's getting out?
Before Christmas. Before the end of the year.
Because you just snitched.
I want him to. I want him to be
He
home by
snitched on
Thanksgiving.
everyone. They moved up. So the big
Because he
kicker-
was facing life, right? Originally?
Well, 35, whatever.
Sure,
yeah. There's 2 big kickers. Number one, his sentencing wasn't supposed to be until next year. They moved it up to December. I think they're going to give him time served. Also, I just feel like if anyone signed any deal with him, they probably know he's going to be out soon. You know?
Yeah.
Like if there's a chance he's doing 5 more years in jail, you're not signing a
Okay,
deal.
yeah, that's right.
Wow.
All right. Who is your loser, D?
My loser is free speech.
Wow. You really are a true dictator.
I'm a true dictator, and it's not. I think it's important for people to realize your speech is free. Your consequences are expensive.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but very poetic.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think LeBron tried to say that.
Did you just reword LeBron
Yeah, he reworded it.
No,
a
I
little
just
more
say it. I
articulate.
speak.
more elegantly? You should write for LeBron, I think.
I should.
Because that thing he did was not good.
No, it wasn't.
But that's really what people don't understand, because like a lot of people that are kind of standing up for causes and rights and all these noble things, which obviously we could applaud them, but there's consequences for them, and people don't understand how the world works and when you can talk and when you can't talk. And like the people that usually bark the loudest, are they actually making the most impact? I don't know. I can't, but historically you could probably say yes, they have, but there's smarter ways to get things done. And I think a lot of people like to just lash out and open their big fucking mouth, but don't know the consequences of those actions.
I think you have to make the distinction that you're coming from a place where you have something to lose. So you're obviously going to calculate your free speech. Yeah. Obviously, everyone in this country has free speech. The country's built on that. But speaking when you have something to lose versus not having anything to lose is a little different. And as long as you're willing to lose it, exercise it.
Yeah, and that's my point.
What people need to understand.
But people don't understand, like, Colin Kaepernick did what he did, and you got blackballed.
Yeah.
That's just what happened.
And he might be okay. He seems to be okay with it.
Yeah, so that's fine. It's just like, and then for a young person, you go out into the universe, you have nothing to lose when you're young. You're 18 years old, you're optimistic. You go start saying crazy shit, it's all over the internet. And then you go to college, and then you want to get a job, and then you don't get the job.
Or you do blackface.
Or you did blackface, or you did whatever. All these things do, even when you don't have anything to lose, they will come back and haunt you, and be prepared for those consequences.
Yeah, I'll just say mine because mine's kind of like yours. Mine is like all of the social justice warrior type. I don't even know if that's the right thing to say, the right category. The people that think it's everything's so black and white, right? Like I feel like there's this new like popularity around being outraged and around, oh, tear it down and that's not fair and whatever. But you don't realize how intricate the real world actually is. And I was going to give it to LeBron, because I was going to give him my loser, but like I actually sort of feel for him in this instance, because the world isn't as black and white as like, oh, that sucks, so fuck it, cancel it. And he can't just say, screw China, cancel it. He is part of this bigger business and this bigger thing. I think he could have handled his speech a lot better.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like some of the loudest people are the people that aren't tied into this stuff, and some of the people that are feel the dynamics of it. I think the NBA got caught in the most. They got caught blatantly in the most wild crossroads between your beliefs and your business.
Yeah.
And to add to that, the world's been gray since its existence until social media made it seem like it was black and white. Mm-hmm. The world continues to be gray. Mm-hmm. And the world continues to be nuanced and complicated, and the U.S. does business with countries that are unsavory, and that's been going on forever, and you can make your judgment, but a lot of people rely on it. A lot of jobs are like dependent on these things. And, my loser of the week is Daryl Morey, the Houston general manager. Just on the same theme. And I don't think he realized what he was doing. I don't know if he realized what he was doing. He was in Tokyo at the time with the Rockets and retweeting a Hong Kong free pro-protest. And like, it just sucks that Daryl Morey made the NBA face this kind of fork in the road with China, when there's every multinational corporation doing business with China. And the NBA, which is actually consumer facing, so people in China actually benefit from their product, because there's 640 million people watched the NBA last year in China.
That's insane.
And
I mean, to me, if you have a phone, you're doing business with China.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyone listening to this on your iPhone, whatever you're listening to on, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand, like, if our little lives are so intricate. And if you really want to stand and say, fuck that, free speech or die, then you have to give
up everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so now you're looking at something, a corporation as big as the NBA, of course there's so many intricacies. And as fun as it is to say like, oh, they're dictators and free speech and whatever, real life is so much more like detailed and complex. And it's been treated the last year, I feel like black and white, cancel it, not right, take them down, rip them down.
And the cancel culture exists within the United States, meaning you could say all that stuff, which a lot of these NBA guys did, and it didn't affect their viewership and people who came to the games. But when a country can potentially ban 10% of your revenue, which is billions of dollars, then it gets a little more interesting.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. I think there's a lot of wake-up calls for I guess I shouldn't have said social justice warrior. It's not technically just that. It's cancel culture, outrage culture, black and white, whatever. The people who simplify the world and the people who do nothing but act like they can tear down everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what China does, how they run their countries right, whatever, but man, I'm not the guy to tell the NBA to do anything different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, cool. So that was your loser.
Yeah.
All right, content. Give us some recommendations.
Paul Rudd's new Netflix movie,
Oh, boy.
Living with Yourself.
Let me tell you what I don't trust. Your
I love Paul Rudd.
movie recommendation. Did you watch it?
No, just coming out tomorrow or today.
So you're excited.
I'm excited about Paul Rudd.
I like Paul Rudd a lot, but I don't trust Netflix.
I trust Paul Rudd.
I don't. I don't trust him that much.
You don't?
I trust him at the theater. Netflix constantly puts out lackluster movies.
Really?
Yeah, other than Anand's favorite or whatever. And
Which
Jennifer
one?
Aniston. And,
That was Dee's favorite.
I love that movie.
oh, gosh, you like shit movies.
And I like the Will Smith one.
Which one?
Bright.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
It's a great movie.
I'm going to give it a shot, though, because I like Paul Rudd. I don't have high hopes. Anand?
So it's a podcast, actually. Unfortunately, we have to give a podcast content of the week.
Well, luckily only losers listen, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a loser pod.
So it's a podcast by a sports guy named Ryan Russillo, but it's not a sports podcast, this particular episode. It's with the author of A $1 Billion Whale, Tom Wright. I just can't get enough of this story. And I've read the book, and I listened to this podcast. He goes into some more detail about some of the different stories he talks about. And then he also says that there's a movie coming out, and it's by the production company, which scares me a little, that did Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
And the podcast is great. If you don't want to read the book, but you just don't have time, this is an hour podcast. It gives a great synopsis of the story, gives you kind of insight into the $1 Billion Whale, which is Jolo.
Yep.
It's fascinating.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine is speaking of Disney, is Bob Iger's new book. It's called The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO. It's incredible.
Incredible. Give me one lesson.
You know what another one lesson is? This guy, there was a moment when he was like, had worked for decades, picked it up from Michael Eisner to try to open a Chinese Disneyland. And it was opening day, and there were things going wrong and things going right, and so much stress, and he had the longest day in the world, and he found out that, number one, the Pulse nightclub shooting, where the guy shot up the club in Orlando.
Yep.
That guy first went to Disney World, stood outside, but saw too much security there thinking, and walked away. His original target was Disney World Orlando. And when he got the news about the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando when he was in China, they watched the security tapes, and the guy was there. He had guns in a baby stroller.
Wow.
And turned away, went to Googled, because they checked his phone records, the closest nightclub, went there and shot it up.
Oh, my goodness.
Then, 2 days later, roughly, is when that kid got eaten by an alligator at Disney at the hotel.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was facing all of that while, like, cutting the ribbon and, like, giving speeches. And, like, the amount of shit that he had to deal with and stay calm and focused is, like, unlike anything I've ever.
I'm sure the Chinese Disneyland's on fire.
I'm sure it is crushing. But they talked about, like, they had been, Michael Eisner tried to do it. They've been trying to do it for years. He finally pulled it off. They bought the land 10 years ago, whatever. Yeah. But, like, there were multiple occasions where, even when he first became CEO of Disney, his first move was to buy Pixar for, like, $7 billion.
Right.
And he told this story in an interview on YouTube, or else I wouldn't blow it. But 30 minutes before him and Steve Jobs were going out to announce that his first big move as CEO was to buy Pixar for close to $7 billion, Steve pulled him aside and told him he was dying, and that if he wanted to back out of the deal, he wouldn't blame him. and he had to go on stage in 30 minutes. And he couldn't call his board. He couldn't do anything. He had to make the decision what to do with that information.
Yeah.
And he decided to go through with it. Steve told him he only had a few more years to live. Do you still want to buy this as your first big move if this guy's going to die? He was obviously very sad about the loss of his friend. There were these like huge moments when it's like, man, I couldn't imagine. Like I get stressed trying to figure out whether to go to Chipotle or Baja Fresh, and we got a podcast to record. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
That's
It's great.
That's great.
Yeah, really good book though. Really easy to read. Pretty
Hopefully,
short.
it does a movie on Netflix that I could watch.
Bob Iger,
Yeah.
starring Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah,
or
Disney
something.
Plus.
Yeah, come on. And then he said in like 2021, I think, is his last year. He's stepping down. But they talk about figuring out streaming and knowing that they had to do it and losing a lot of money. There's some of their biggest properties they had deals with, and they had to buy them back so that they could have them for streaming and whatever. Pretty cool stuff.
All right.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Everyone have an incredible weekend. Thank you for the constant support and for coming to our live shows. Even if you're not obviously in our LA area, hopefully we'll come to a city near you soon. Thanks for just listening to the pod, spreading the word.
Yeah, thank you.
The biggest thing that you can do if you want to help us out is just post the pod on your social media. Let your friends know that it exists. Spread the word, and if we get enough demand in any given city or area, we'll come there and do one of our lives. And hopefully, if we get enough demand, we can afford Eric Deluxe to come with us.
Yes.
And review us on iTunes.
And yeah,
Those
rate and
things
review us on
count.
iTunes. That helps us chart. Last but not least, questions. So we set up a new email. It's groupchatquestions@gmail.com. What we're going to start doing is I want everyone to submit questions. Send us a video from your phone. So open up your little phone, put it on selfie mode, take a video asking us any question in the world, submit it to groupchatquestions@gmail.com. We're going to start doing little videos for our Instagram where we play the video of the person asking and then we play our response. We already have a couple really good ones, so keep those coming and we'll start posting them on Instagram. We'll give you tags and shout outs and whatever you want.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
That's it. Everyone have a good weekend.